Good morning, everyone. My name is Tony Holowitz, and thank you for being here for this tutorial. So in this tutorial, I love it when, as a software user, I can learn new tricks. And this trick is something that I learned probably within the last couple months, and I just want to share it with you. So if you've watched some of my videos, you know that I'm a big fan of using groups and ACT to keep information together. So for example, let's say I looked up all the people in my ACT database whose first name was John. And because I only work with people named John in my database, what I could do is I could create a group and tell ACT anytime someone named John is in my database, added to my database, for example, automatically put them in the John group. Now you can get a little more sophisticated than that, but as a rule, what I would do is typically go in to the group area in ACT and show people how to build that, what is called dynamic group, or using a group membership rule, how to build it so everyone named John automatically got into that group. But there's another way to do it, and I did not know about this until recently. So let me show you an example of how you can do a lookup and then convert it into a group so you don't have to do the quote-unquote programming behind the scenes. Let me illustrate that. So in this particular database, I have only 15 contacts. And I'm going to come up top and I'm going to click on Lookup, and I'm going to choose, listen, I want to have not the contact name, but I'm going to choose the state. And the state that I'm going to start with is California. So I'm looking up all the contacts in this database in the state of California. Let's assume for a minute that's my territory. I'm going to click Submit. What will happen is we'll see there are approximately 5 people in the state of California. But I'm going to go back up and click on Lookup again, and I'm going to add to this lookup. Very important here, I want to find all the people that are also in Idaho. But if I just left this at Replace Lookup, it would look up just the people in Idaho. So because I want to add it to this lookup, I'm going to click on this drop down, and I'm going to say Add to Lookup. And in this case, I'm going to type in ID for Idaho. So now I've done two things. When I hit Submit, now I have a list of people that are in California and people in Idaho. So let's say this is my territory. It's important to me to make sure anytime someone in these two states is added to the database that they're put into a group. Maybe I call it Tony's territory. So how can I do that easily? Well, I'm going to come up to Contacts, and I want you to observe here there's something called Save Lookup as Group. And I'm going to click on that, and when I do that, it's going to prompt me to give it a group name. And I'm just going to type in Tony's territory. Man, I am a fast typist. I hope you've picked up on that through the years. And now I'm going to come over and click on Save. And in a second, you're going to see all those contacts end up down below. Now, there's two ways you can do a group. You can do it manually, where I could look those up and just save them in there. But the problem is I never do it that way. And the reason for that is because I want this to always add people to my territory as they come into the database. That is the huge advantage of groups. And you can do a lot of things with groups. That's why I'm such a fan. I run training courses called Group Therapy for ACT users, and that is something that I really am a proponent of groups, and I'm enthusiastic about groups. But let me show you something. Down here where it says Add Remove Contacts, I'm going to click on that, and when I come inside here, it shows me the criteria that was created to create this group. So what I used to do before I learned this step is I would go in and build the criteria first to get the contacts to come into the group. Where here, I did a lookup, and then after I went through certain steps, I saved it as a group. So it sort of built this criteria for me. So I never knew that. I've been doing this for a long time, and I never knew that. So it's something I just learned. Anyway, I wanted to show this to you so you could get a sense of how groups can be beneficial and how easy it is to create a group. Okay, my friends, thank you so very much. Have a great day. Bye now.